We keep our cats indoors for a very simple reason. We want them to live forever. We think that behind four walls, they're safe from cars, predators, and the chaos of the outside world. But what if I told you that for many cats, the safety of your living room is actually a minefield of invisible hazards? Veterinary emergency rooms are filled every single day with indoor cats suffering from avoidable, often fatal mistakes made by the most loving and caring owners. Today, we're going far beyond the basic advice of don't feed them chocolate. We're diving into the deep, often hidden, deadly mistakes that even experienced owners make, mistakes that vets see time and time again. If you want to ensure your cat actually reaches that 20-year milestone, you need to listen closely. This isn't just general advice. It's about understanding the unique biological and psychological needs of a predator living in a confined space. This is Cat Logic, and today we are saving lives. Mistake number 1 is the tilt window death trap. This is something many owners ignore until it is far too late. The vertical tilting window. In the veterinary world, we call this window syndrome, and it is horrific. In many modern homes, windows open from the top, creating a narrow V-shaped gap. To a cat, this gap looks like a perfect escape route or a way to get fresh air. But here is the biological reality. Cats have soft fur and incredibly flexible bodies, but they cannot push themselves backward once they are wedged. As they try to climb through, they inevitably slide down into the narrowest part of the V. Because of the angle, their own body weight pulls them deeper and deeper into the trap. This leads to what doctors call crush syndrome. The cat's weight cuts off blood flow to the hind legs and vital organs. When blood flow is cut off, muscle tissue begins to die, releasing massive amounts of toxins into the bloodstream. Even if you find the cat and pull them out, that sudden rush of toxins can hit the heart and kidneys like a tidal wave, causing cardiac arrest or acute renal failure within minutes. The rule is simple. Never leave a tilted window unattended. Use window guards or restrictors. Mistake number 2 is the botanical silent killer. We all love how flowers brighten a room, but for a cat, a beautiful bouquet is often a lethal dose of poison. Most owners have heard that lilies are bad, but they don't realize the true, terrifying scale of the danger. Lilies are not just toxic, they represent the total destruction of a cat's kidneys. There is a common misconception that a cat has to eat a large part of the plant. That is false. A cat can simply walk past a lily, get a tiny grain of orange pollen on its fur, and lick it off later while grooming. That microscopic amount is enough to trigger total kidney failure. Within hours, the cat will stop eating and start vomiting, but by the time you see these symptoms, the kidney damage is often irreversible, and it isn't just lilies. Consider the sago palm, a popular decorative plant. It contains psychocin, which causes devastating liver failure. Just 2 seeds from this plant are enough to kill an adult cat. And what about your essential oil diffusers? We love the smell of peppermint, tea tree, or eucalyptus, but cats lack the specific liver enzyme to break them down. Over time, breathing these oils causes a slow buildup of toxins in the liver. Always check the safety status of every plant and scent you bring into your home. Your aesthetic choice should never cost your cat its life. Mistake number 3 is the chronic dehydration crisis. Here's a harsh truth that the pet food industry doesn't always emphasize. Your cat is an obligate carnivore and a desert animal by evolution. In the wild, their ancestors got nearly 80% of their moisture directly from the meat of their prey. Because of this, cats have developed a very low thirst drive. They aren't like dogs who will lap up a whole bowl of water after a walk. When we feed a cat strictly dry food, which contains only about 10% moisture, we are putting them in a state of permanent, chronic dehydration. This is a tragedy in slow motion. Over the years, this lack of water causes the urine to become highly concentrated and alkaline. This environment is perfect for the formation of painful crystals and mucus plugs. For male cats, this is literally a death sentence. Their urethra is narrow, and a tiny crystal can completely block the flow of urine. This is a critical situation with only a 24-hour window for help. If your cat is straining in the litter box and nothing is coming out, you have zero time to wait. If the bladder isn't drained, potassium levels in the blood will spike, acting like a lethal injection to the heart. Wet food isn't a luxury. For a domestic cat, it is preventative medicine. Mistake number 4 is the danger of linear foreign bodies. It looks so innocent. A cat playing with sewing thread, a hair tie, or leftover Christmas tinsel. We see it in cartoons all the time, cats and balls of yarn, but in reality, vets call these linear foreign bodies, and they are one of the most mechanically dangerous things a cat can swallow. The danger lies in the anatomy of a cat's tongue. Its surface is covered in tiny barbs that point backward toward the throat. Once a cat starts swallowing a string or ribbon, it physically cannot spit it out. The barbs hook the string and force it down. As the string moves through the digestive tract, one end often gets anchored, usually under the base of the tongue or at the exit of the stomach. The rest of the string continues to move forward through the intestines, causing them to bunch up like fabric on a drawstring. The string then acts like a saw, literally cutting through the delicate walls of the intestines from the inside. This leads to peritonitis, a massive infectious contamination of the abdominal cavity. Never let your cat play with thread, yarn, or ribbons without supervision. Mistake number 5 is the myth of the unvaccinated indoor cat. My cat never goes outside, so it doesn't need vaccines. This is perhaps the most dangerous myth, costing thousands of indoor cats their lives every year. The reality is that your home is not a sterile capsule. You go outside, you walk through parks, apartment hallways, and shops. You are a biological carrier. Deadly viruses like panleukopenia, also known as feline distemper, are incredibly hardy. This virus can survive on the soles of your shoes or the fabric of your clothes for months. Your indoor cat has a naive immune system. It hasn't encountered the world, so it has no natural defenses. When you walk into the house and your cat greets you at the door by sniffing your shoes, it is potentially inhaling a lethal dose of a virus you tracked in from the street. An indoor cat actually needs basic vaccines even more because it lacks background immunity. Prevention through vaccination costs pennies compared to intensive care. Mistake number 6 is the silent killer known as environmental stress. Finally, mistake number 6 is treating your home like a cage rather than a habitat. We often think that if a cat is lazy and sleeps 16 hours a day, it doesn't need anything. This is a massive misunderstanding of feline psychology. A bored cat is a stressed cat. And in felines, stress is not just a mood. It is a physical trigger for disease. Specifically, stress is the primary cause of feline idiopathic cystitis. This is a painful inflammation of the bladder walls. When a cat feels cornered, bored, or anxious, due to a lack of mental stimulation, its body releases hormones that actually destroy the protective lining of the bladder. Being an indoor cat owner is a contract. We have traded their freedom for safety, but in return, we have a moral obligation to provide them with a wild life inside the home. This means vertical space, trees and shelves. It means food puzzles that force them to think in order to hunt for food. It means active play. Without this, their health will eventually collapse under the pressure of stagnation. In conclusion, being a follower of cat logic means looking at your home through the eyes of a small, semi-wild predator. It means noticing the thread on the floor, checking the labels on your flowers, and ensuring the water fountain is always clean. Your cat relies on you for everything. They have no choice in what they eat, what they breathe, or where they sleep. Our task is to be worthy of that absolute trust. Which of these dangers surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. Your story might save someone else's pet. Subscribe to help us share expert advice with cat owners worldwide. Thank you for being with us. I'll see you in the next video.